I'm scared because today we're making our first from scratch Miniverse. These don't have resin and I'm very intimidated by them. Let's see which one we're doing. Okay, I can already see it through here. This is the cookies. Choco kitty cookies to be exact. Here's up close of what they look like. They look super cute. So it shows you mixing some dough, rolling it out, using the cookie cutters, pressing the faces, letting it dry for 15 minutes, transferring it to a drying sheet for another 15 minutes, ice them for 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes? Huh, okay. And there's 15 to collect. I'll show you briefly what they look like. There's a couple cakes. The cakes I think are what scare me most. We have some brownies, that thing, that looks difficult. Birthday cake, some more cakes, cupcakes, pies, and then all the cookie varieties. All right, let's see what we got. It's a silicone baking mat. It's not actually silicone, it kind of just feels like a glossy plastic. We have our cooling sheet, that's gold, that's cute. The icing, so that's more like how the Target ones came in those big packages. Did get a nozzle for it, so love that. Makes it easier. Oh, how cute. And with the tongs, there's a rolling pin. Love it. What else? They gave us 2 kitty stampers. Regular kitty and angry kitty. Love it. Cookie cutter, spatula, this little plastic tray we've seen before. We have 2 different types of cookie dough. So when you mix those together, I think that's what creates like the hardening agent. And then, oh, is it like a super short table that sticks in there? It is. And then this goes into here to make that handle. Okay, so this is what that looks like when it's snapped together. Look how short these tables are, and they're very loosey-goosey. They don't really snap in there like the other ones did. It actually has little grooves there, but there's nothing to catch it on here. So, interesting. May or may not use that. Let's clean up and get started. Usually I always just recycle this sheet, don't even look at it, but in recent sets, and maybe always, there's some useful information in there sometimes. So for this set, for example, it tells you to take half the dough, mix it together, set the other half aside. So you can make more cookies than what we're making the first go around, but I think they have you do it in 2 different batches because maybe not all of them could fit on here. That's what I'm assuming. It tells you after you stamp them and cut them out to let them sit for 15 minutes. If they're still sticky, wait longer so they properly air dry. It gives you tips for like the pies, the cakes, all of that. So make sure you don't throw this away. It also says that like right here, the table snaps in there. Mine doesn't at all. So there's that for what it's worth. Let's open our Choco dough and our cookie dough. We're gonna cut it in half. Starting with Choco first. Ooh, it's very soft. Okay, so it's real glossy looking. Almost like wet. And these are kitchen scissors, so I'm just gonna cut it in half with this. Boom, and boom. Maybe this is like air dry clay. I've never worked with that stuff. So this is kind of cool. It shows you blending it up and mixing it until it's all well combined and you can't see the streaks in the different colors. So this might take a few moments to mix it really good. I guess what I'll do is I'll set this in here so it doesn't dry out for now. We might be able to make all the cookies at once, but we'll see. The camera keeps slightly blurring and it's annoying me. So sorry about that, but I have everything mixed. So now it shows putting it on here and rolling it out. which I like doing this in real life. Sometimes it sticks, but it does roll pretty easily, I'll give it that. It's very soft, whatever this stuff is. I don't know how thick to make them. I typically make my cookies pretty thick. We'll see how that does. And let's get our cookie stamper. Let's make sure I'm following this right. Yep, it says to stamp them all out. And then we'll collect all the dough and do it over again. So pretty easy, pretty easy. All right. It says to stamp the faces and then let them sit on here for a while. I don't know how necessary that part is, so we'll go ahead and lightly stamp them real quick. Oh, that's cute. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. You don't have to stamp very hard because it's very soft dough. Oh my gosh, how cute. You want to stamp it just perfect. That way it doesn't show the outline of the cookie cutter. Those are our Angry Kitty cookies. Okay, I'm gonna set that over here. And because I have some left over, I'm just gonna do it on here. It's a silicone mat. Same difference, right? Maybe. About to find out. And I guess I guess you can stamp both sides, though it's not really necessary because one's going to be facing down the whole time, but we'll go ahead and stamp them. We'll do a batch of Angry and a batch of Happy Kitties. I think that's about the same thickness. Just going to do it smack dab in the middle. And I'll just keep rolling. Oh no, bad idea. It sticks to the mat. Oh no. Okay, scratch that idea. Hope you learned something at home. Don't do that. It's been just over 10 minutes, so let's see how easy or hard they are to scrape up. Well, they're still very soft. They don't feel like they've dried at all. Just gonna gently, oh, maybe they need to dry more. I don't want to mess up the faces. I think they might, yeah. I think they need to sit longer. They're very sticky, at least at the bottom. Okay, well that one thing said if they're still sticky, I don't know at what point, if they're still sticky, to let them sit. But I think I'm going to separate where they're now touching and then I'll let them sit maybe longer. Because I feel like I'm squishing that one's face. I got it off there with a toothpick. I think it's probably easier to use a toothpick probably. Because the spatula is a little thick. It's not as flat as I would like it to be. Let's see how it works for the other ones. Trying to like bend the mat down too. Just very gently. Lift it up. That worked pretty well. So I'm gonna put them on this mat and then I'm gonna try to roll out the rest of that dough. Hopefully have enough to make 3 more. And maybe I made mine too thick and that's why it's taking longer to dry. That's possible. It doesn't really tell you how thick to make them. Oh no. flipping it over. Okay, we're in the safe zone now. We're on the drying rack. Whew. Okay, round 2. Let's see if we can get 3 out of here. Keeps wanting to roll up. That's maybe big enough to make 2. Make sure it's kind of even. And then we'll stamp out or cut out 2 more. Do 1 here. And 1 there. At least that part's really easy to do. And I'm gonna see if I might have to do this one just with my hand to squish it enough to make 1 single kitty. Might have a tad left over I'll just throw in with that other dough that we haven't mixed yet. I'll probably do that separately and show you all of them at the end so I can make a short out of it. Okay, so that one was a little thick, but that's okay. So now, to let those dry for another 15 minutes. I forgot to stamp them. Thankfully, I remembered. The instructions say to lightly stamp it. I would say that's pretty accurate. You don't want to stamp too hard. I did realize it said, the instructions say to keep them in a airtight container to avoid shrinkage. I'm like, shrinkage? For the cake, maybe? I don't know. I hope if they shrink, it's not like too much, because that would be disastrous. But I will be back once these are dry. I've never worked with clay. It's been 20 minutes for these. So they were on here 10 minutes, on here. No, 15 and then 15, so it's been 30 minutes. They're definitely still wet. They're still squishy. Are they supposed to be like that? I don't know, because this is my first one. I did accidentally touch that one and may have given him a little mark on his chin. So now I'm gonna transfer these and then they're just gonna sit there again another 15 minutes. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or not. You'll have to let me know. I know there's probably lots of you in the comments that have either made these already or have worked with this type of stuff. I feel like you distort them a little bit when you try to pick them up. Okay, success. I would imagine they're supposed to be like, not, I don't know, kind of dry, right? Because we're gonna put icing on them. I don't know. Okay, that one lifted up way easier. Is it because I made them too thick? But that made, well no, because 1 packet or half of the dough like I was supposed to did make 6 cookies. I had just a tad left over. And I'm gonna make the normal looking kitties with the other one. Okay, I'm gonna let these sit another 15 minutes and see what they look like. Some of these have like a gloss, like wet look, and the other ones don't. I don't know what to think about this stuff. So at this point, it's probably been, let's see, almost 2 hours, still wet. And by wet, like I could pick it up. It's not sticky, but I think it's still leaving like fingerprint marks on it. And if I take this and touch it, it would definitely scratch it. So, I mean, isn't it supposed to be dry so that if you put your nail or something on it, it doesn't leave a mark? I don't know. I left these on the mat for like an hour and then they lift off really nicely. I think I'm gonna let them sit like this a couple more hours just to see if it gets like a crust on it, because, okay, this is the leftover This is the leftover dough. I was trying to make another cat face and just started getting really dry and crumbly. So I was expecting this stuff to get dry like that, and it's not. So I think I'm gonna wait at least another hour and see what to do at that point. It's now been 24 hours later, and I still feel like they're soft, like I could bend them. I just thought they would have a more like hard texture to them after all this time, and they don't. Also, I went ahead and opened this and I could tell just by looking down into it that this is what was over it, and I thought maybe I had to puncture a hole in it like actual icing. So I was like, it wasn't doing it. It was really hard, so I squeezed it and it just all came out. So be careful of that. You should be able to pull it off from the outside, but they don't tell you that. At least nothing that I've seen in the instructions tells you that. So let's try to put some icing on here. And it says to let it dry then for 20 minutes. But again, not really having much faith in any of that, because it seems like it's taking way longer. So I don't know if this is polymer clay or what this stuff is that the cookies are made out of, but enlighten me if you know. Is this the one I wanted to use? I'm trying to squish it down so it's even. It's easier if you throw it on a tray so you can look at it from the side and make sure that it looks good. Some of them don't match up well because they scooted whenever. Okay, maybe they're a little bit more durable than they look. I'm trying to match them up. I think maybe those two can go together. Looks a little janky. And then that one's probably too big. Some of them look rough, that's for sure. I might just have this one as an extra. Yeah, I think we're gonna have one extra. But I feel like there's enough icing at least to do them all, so that's good. Even though some of it kind of sprayed out and got wasted. I think I have enough. So leave me all tips and tricks in the comments, because I know I have more cookies to make for sure. Okay, last cookie. So I kind of am outlining it, trying to keep the same thickness all the way around. And just gently place it on top. This one's a little lopsided, but there they are. So that made exactly 6. I have this extra one that doesn't have a matching side. There would have been enough to make a matching side, but it got like super dry and hard. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, so I waited a little bit longer than what it recommends. It seems dry to the touch. It almost has like a rubbery, kind of squishy consistency to it. I think this is just how it's going to be, where it's going to continue to just feel like clay and be rubbery. Kind of interesting. Also curious to see how this is going to develop after time, because it said to keep it in something airtight to avoid shrinkage. So I don't know. Very curious to know your guys' thoughts on this. And I guess I have to do more from this series before I have opinions on it. It's kind of cool to do stuff without resin, but then I like how sturdy resin is. So kind of indifferent at this point. I think they're definitely cute. This being the first one from the series I've done, maybe give it like a 7. Definitely cute, love cats. It's just different than what I thought it was going to be. I'll just leave it at that. But let me know what your thoughts are on this, and if you have any suggestions or feedback, let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.